Welcome back. My name is Elias Sinkala. Proper name Professor Elias. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, please, for the sake of encouragement, and also like, if possible, share. Let's continue where we ended. Now let's start to name here are some of the articles before I go any further. Polyatomic ions. Yeah, these are some of the things that you have to know. But it's not on the same with what have been provided to you. Okay, so it is. We have to name this compound. I think from 1 up to, question 1 and 2, then the other one you can go ahead. So I'm going to name them according to the articles that have been presented to you, and those are some of the articles that we use in general chemistry. Yeah, the common articles that we use. Okay, so for instance, the first question we've got to that's question number 1. The A there, we've got sodium sulfate, not sulfate, but sulfate. Yes. So now, one thing that has to come in your mind is this. So sodium sulfate, it is Na2CO4, right? And one thing, okay, then I'll explain later when I figure on transitional metal, when the compound involves the transitional metal. So that is sodium sulfate. Just have to write a name, that's all. The systemic name, that's all. So what is that? Get exactly the way it is. And how did they come up with sodium sulfate? Sometimes they might ask you that kind of question. So here it is. So we go. This is how they come up with sodium sulfate, right? So this is sodium, this is sulfate. Not the charge but the valence. What's the valence for sodium? Sulfate. These two. What's the valence for sodium? Sodium is in group 1, right? So group is equal to valence. So it's equal to what? Having a valence 1 there. Then here I've got sodium. Here I've got what? Sulfate. Then what's going to happen here? They are going to be exchanging of what valences. So 2 from sodium, 2 from sulfate come to sodium. 1 to what? 1 from sodium come to what? To sulfate. Of which are going to have what? Na what? Na, 2 from sulfate. Then SO4. I can't put 1 here because it same applies, it's sulfate, it's like that. Right? In this case, this is sodium what? Sulfate. So now the name you have to write to say this is sodium what? Sulfate. Others, in some books, sulfate can be written like this. Yes. So that is the name. Sodium sulfate. Don't write sodium 2 sulfate. That is not a sulfate. It is not a sodium is not, let me say sodium 1 sulfate or sodium 2 sulfate. There is no any transitional metal there. Because transitional metal include numerals, but there is no any transitional metal. So here we go to another compound. What is this compound? We've got this compound which is KH2P4. Like what I said, consists of 2 and above. That is a ternary compound. In this one, we've got 4 compounds. In that, we've got 4 compounds here. 4 elements of potassium, halogen, phosphorus, and also we've got what? Oxygen. So now in this case, there is a polyatomic element, which is a radical, and also I've got 2 elements. Right? Number 1, we've got potassium. So in this case, if you see very much properly, PO4, that is phosphate. It's not phosphate. Even if it was phosphate, we could have having what? PO3. Right? It is phosphate. So, what's going to happen? What will be the name of this one? The name of this one to be, this is phosphate, right? So I've got phosphate here, right? Number two, I've got two hydrogen here. According to those prefixes that indicate the number of the number in a chemical compound, these two, having two hydrogen, that means I've got what? Di what? Hydrogen. Di means what? Hydrogen. I mean, di means two. Dihydrogen. Right? Then last two, I've got what? Potassium. So coming from here, going up. So hence the name of this one is what? Potassium dihydrogen phosphate. So this is the name of the compound. The name of this compound is called potassium dihydrogen phosphate. Thank you very much. So let's go to another question. Now this is a question that contains a Roman, let me say, contains a transitional metal. And when naming a transitional metal, there has to be an inclusion of what the values that have been provided. Right? So in this case, if you see very much properly, I've got Fe, which is iron. In Greek name, Phylus. That's why they get Fe. And also I've got NO3, those that are in parentheses. In this case, having, that is a nitrate. Right? Now, watch out. Watch out what's going to happen here. If I have to write it properly, it is FNO3. That's how it is. Now, here it is. What's going to happen is this. I've got FeNO3. What's the valence of nitrate? If you see very much properly, nitrate, it has a negative charge. That implies to say a negative, which is a -1. The charge number is equal to the variance. The variance number which is equal to 1. If you see very much properly, the articles that have been provided, and that you have to know. We're having one here. Right? Now, accordingly, the way I've seen, these three tests come from here. Right? Hence, this implies to say this iron 3. So 3 is supposed to be A. Right? I just want to also to write the chemical formula, how they came up with the chemical formula to increase the room of understanding. So Fe NO3. So they're going to share their valences. So then you are going to avoid Fe, right? Then you open up, we're going to avoid NO3. Then these three, if they exchange, they're exchanging their valences here. These three comes here, you're going to avoid this. Hence, the name of this one is going to avoid iron. This is a transitional metal, and the name of a transitional metal, when naming a transitional metal, there has to be an inclusion of what? Roman numeral. So I'm going to avoid Roman numeral. This implies to say this three I's. I can say 3 I's. Yeah. Iron 3, nitrate. The nitrate with what? A. This is iron 3 nitrate. Thank you very much. I think the videos has to increase more room of understanding. Let's try to meet another episode. This is Elias Sinkala. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you very much. Stay blessed.